humble match was the technological breakthrough of its day in the 1800s. The match allowed people to create light and heat in their own home, just from this little stick. In the 1800s, this match factory was the workplace of over 2,000 women and teenage girls. There was a lot of money to be made from the matchmaking industry. People owning the factories were getting quite rich. In contrast to that, the match workers themselves were working in appalling conditions, often for very little pay. Given these conditions, it was no surprise that many people suffered from ill health, but people began to suspect that there may be other reasons why they were suffering. Matches at the time were made with a substance called white phosphorus, and it became clear that this was the substance that was leading to a whole raft of health problems for the match workers. One of the most dangerous things was called phossy jaw, which was like a kind of deadly cancer. In 1888, the women of the match factory went on strike in protest against their lack of pay and working conditions. This became known as the Match Girl Strike of 1888. The strike lasted for 3 weeks. As a result, the conditions in the factory were slightly improved, but the white phosphorus continued to do its deadly work. In 1891, in East London, the Salvation Army opened up its very own match factory. It was clean, light and airy, and the girls who worked there had tea breaks. They also got paid a fair wage, a third more than other factories, and most importantly, the matches were made using the safe and less toxic red phosphorus. William Booth used the factory as a showcase for social reform. The Salvation Army owned and ran the match factory for 10 years. The campaign was successful, and other factories followed suit, stating they would no longer be using white phosphorus in their matches. The Match Girls' strike and the Salvation Army's example at the time ultimately improved the working conditions for many thousands of workers. The matches themselves have lived up to the bold claims on the box. They were far more than mere matches. They really were lights in darkest England.